Okay guys, welcome to the fourth episode of Python tutorial series Python numbers. There are three numeric types in Python: int, float, and complex. Variables of numeric types are created when you assign a value to them. Okay, x equals to 1, int, y equals to 2.8, this is float, z equals to 1, z is complex. To verify the type of any object in Python, use the type function. Print type of x, print type of y, print type of z, and let's see what is the output. It should be just class int in single quotation, the second one is float in single quotation, third one is complex, as we can guess. And int or integer is a whole number, positive or negative, without decimals, of unlimited length. Integers: x equals to 1, y, there is also an integer, also very, although very weak, z equals to, that's an integer too, but it's negative. Okay, so if you print the type of x, y, and z, you will have the same output thrice. Int float or floating point number is a number, positive or negative, containing one or more decimals. X equals to 1.10, y equals to 1.0, and z equals to minus 35.59. okay, you the type of x print out, and they will get the same output as float. Now float can also be scientific numbers with an e to indicate the power of 10. X equals to 35 e3, y equals to 12 e4, but that's a capital E, and z equals to minus 87.7, small e 100, no problem, but they're all floating point numbers. Like they say, float can also be scientific numbers with an e to indicate the power of 10. So although it is 12 e to the power 4, but it will be considered as a float. Yes. Complex numbers are written with a j as the imaginary part, right? Okay. Complex equals to 3 plus 5j, y equals to 5j, and z equals to minus 5j. So if you print the type of x, y, and z, you will have only one single thing: complex. Type conversion: you can convert from one type to another with the int, float, and complex methods, right? Convert from one type to another. X equals to 1, that's int, y equals to 2.8, that's float, z equals to 1j, that's complex. Convert from int to float. A equals to float of x, so a should be 1.0, I guess. Convert from float to int. B equals to int of y, I guess b will be 2. Convert from int to complex. C equals to complex of x. I guess c will still be 1, should be 1. Now let's see, print of a, print b, print c. So a should be 1.0, b should be 2, and c should be, as I guessed, c should be simply 1. But the type is, as you can see, type A will return float, type B will return int, and type C will return complex. Let's see what happened. Okay, my third guess was a little bit wrong. I said z, print of z will return 1, but no, it will only return 1. It will 1 plus 0 z, because this is a complex number and they have to somehow prove that it's a complex number. But the types, that was obvious. And I note, you cannot convert complex numbers into another number type. I cannot, then maybe possibly I cannot, because if you try to convert this particular complex number like 1j, or maybe this particular complex number like 3 plus 5j into integer or float, you possibly cannot. What will we do with the imaginary part? You cannot get rid of that, or can you? Random number. Python does not have a random function to make a random number directly, but Python has a built-in module called random that can be used to make random numbers. Okay, Import the random module and display a random number between 1 and 9. Import random. Print in parentheses we have random dot rand range, and then another pair of parentheses 1 comma 10. But the output will be a number between 1 and 9, not 10. Okay, so let's see once again. In the try it yourself. Import random. Print in parentheses we have random dot rand range of 1 comma 10. So this time it is 5. If we try it itself again, it should be 2. As you can see, this is a random number every time we try it. So 1 second 5, no problem. This time it could be, and this time it shouldn't be 5. It's 7. This time it should be greater than 7. No. Okay, sometimes it could come multiple times, but this doesn't mean anything. In setup, in our random module reference, you will learn more about random module. Test yourself with exercises. Insert the correct syntax to convert x into a floating point number. It's very easy. Just float float of x, and then x will be 5.0. Start the exercise. Let me type float in here. Everything is small, not what do they call it, capital. Okay, correct, as you can see, and we can go to the next chapter. Since we have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, I pressed it next, but it doesn't work. Why? If I accidentally press it twice, actually once after which we skipped, which is the last thing I want. Now Python casting. Specify a variable type. There may be times when you want to specify a type onto a variable. This can be done with casting. Python is an object-oriented language, and as such it uses classes to define data types, including its primitive types. Casting in Python is therefore done using constructor functions. Int function constructs an integer number from one integer literal, a float literal by removing all decimals, or a string literal providing the string represents a whole number. Okay, then the float function constructs a float number from an integer literal, float literal, or a string literal provided that the string represents a float or an integer. Okay, str function constructs a string from a wide variety of data types, including string, integer literals, and float literals, even I guess booleans and other object types. Example, integers x equals to int of 1, so x will be 1, y equals to int of 2.8, y should be 2, z should be 3. If you take the print out 1, 2, and 3, that's fine. Example, floats x float of 1, so x will be 1.0, y equals to float of 2.8. It is already float, so if you convert it into float again, it will be 2.8. Z equals to float of 3 in double quotation. It was previously a string character, but now it is 3.0, a float number. W equals to float of 4.2. It was a string previously, but now it is float 4.2, a floating point number. If you take the print out, and this will be this strings x equals to string of s1, x will be s1 string, y equals to str of 2, x will be now 2 in singular double quotation. Previously 2 was a number, but now it's a string. Z equals to a string str of 3.0. Previously 3.0 was a floating point number, especially a number, but now G will be 3.0 in quotation, which is a string. Okay, I guess if you take the output, it is the same as you can guess as the comments suggest. So I guess this is the end of episode number 4 of the Python tutorial series. Okay, I invite you to watch the next episode, 5th one. Until then, have a great day.